I'm about to provide you with market breakdown for a company called Natera, and I'm sure you would like to know what Natera is. Okay, Natera is basically a genetic testing company that uses blood tests to detect diseases early and guide medical decisions. So we'll be looking at things like early detection of disease, number one, more personalized treatment, number two, and less invasive diagnostics, which is number three, right? And I'm sure you're also wondering, why is this asset or this company or the stock very important for investors? Okay, the reason it's important is because it sits at the intersection of healthcare, genomics, and data and AI related things. Do you understand what I mean? So it's very important right now because all these things that I've just mentioned, they are very valuable from now towards whatever years. You get me? You can see how helpful AI is. Every government is jumping on it. Companies are jumping on it. Everybody, they're just realizing the opportunity that AI is able to bring within their businesses. So as an investor, it's very important to track the companies that deals with things that are similar to this so that you can best position yourself, right, into the right space. So let's break down the charts real quick. Let me not waste time. Okay, what you're looking at now is Natera 1 month time frame. This asset has been bullish ever since 2018. As you can see this area here where I place my vertical line, you can see that's 2018 and towards 2026, right? So you can see even when I use my trend line from that level 2021 towards let's say 2026, right there at that resistance, you can see the overall direction, it's bullish, right? This asset is extremely bullish. Now let's look at what happened. In this area here where you can see this accumulation, this is 2021, right? You can see this asset gave us this drop here in 2021. Then it began another accumulation here around 2022, you can see, towards 2023. Then from 2023 gave us a push towards the upside, which is a strong push. This means around 2023, guys, if you remember, that's where AI was fully introduced and most companies started like venturing in, and they brought more capital towards the AI data centers within their companies and everything, so that they're able to discover what AI is capable of doing for their companies. You can see this company indeed is really doing well in that field because they've discovered something that is amazing, where you are able to check if someone is about to catch a disease early, right? Or if they already catch the disease and it's still early, you will be able to find solutions to prevent the disease to spread even, further, right? So yeah, let's continue. We can see at this level here, it gave us a break of structure right here at this level, and you can see here this is our pullback, right, of that break of structure, a beautiful pullback. And before it pumped up, it gave us a beautiful double bottom, which is a signal. Look at these two candlesticks here that were formed right after it formed a double bottom. If you can look at this big bearish and the bullish candle, this one's here, these two candles here, do you know what these candles are called? The candle pattern is called bullish tweezer, right? Where you see a long bearish candle that is the same height as the bullish one. It's called bullish tweezer. And especially when you see this pattern within a support zone, it tells you that soon buyers will step in. As you can see, after it printed that bullish tweezer, look what happened. It started pumping up to show you that it's a strong bullish candlestick pattern, right? Then we can see that as it was pumping up, let me remove this so that you guys can see a clean and clear chart, right? Give you a clean and clear chart. Yeah, as I was saying, as you can see, it started pumping up, and when it pumped up, it also broke this structure here. As you can see, that's the current structure that was retraced again, right? You can see we have our current retracement of that break of structure here where it is right now. And we can see that the current 1 month candle has printed that buyers are stepping in. Do you understand? The current 1 month candle, even though it hasn't started like really closing, it's showing us that yes, buyers are indeed stepping in, because number one is the proper support zone where you need to see buyers stepping in immediately after a pullback. Do you understand? This means right now, this is a good zone around this area where it is to take a buy and push further up, right? Because you already know, guys, fundamental wise, how this company will help you in terms of growing your investment portfolio. Do you understand? From now towards 2030. Other things, you can do your own research. Do you understand? But so far, you can see these are clean and simple technical analysis using my price action strategy. Now we have the major high, which is this current resistance here. So if you're able to take your trades, if you're trading or investing, right here where it is, it's a good area to invest, right? It's a good zone because it's at the support level. That means if it decides to accumulate here, if this asset, for example, let me zoom in. If this asset decides to accumulate and play around with candlesticks around this area, you're still at the good zone of buying, right? Before it starts pumping up. compared to people who like saying, no, I'd rather wait for it and see a buyer stepping in, then I can buy around this level. How do you buy the resistance level? Because you can decide to buy here, then it decides to retest back down. Then if you don't really know what's happening, you'll be scared and pull out on your investment on a loss. But remember, it's not really a loss, it's just a drawdown, because eventually it will pump back up again. When you're investing, it's much more safer compared to when you're trading, because when you're investing, that drawdown, even when an asset can go to $5 after you've invested $5,000, it'll still go back up. Or you don't really blow your account, just like trading. You understand? When you experience a massive drawdown, because immediately when the company starts performing well, you can bring back your funds and you make more profit. But in trading, once it goes to a certain direction and your account can be able to maintain, you're wiped out. You get what I mean? So it's wise for both traders and investors to buy at the support all the time. Never buy the resistance unless if you are trading for a particular purpose. Let me say when the market conditions are met and you see that, okay, fine, at this resistance, if I take my buy here, then the market can push up with me. Just like how I usually approach gold, right? Gold is a very volatile asset, and if you track certain momentum on small time frame, you can be able to catch those bullish moves when it's about to break the resistance. But for stocks, it's better to buy the right zone so that you can be calm, relaxed, and have a peace of mind while you're investing or trading, right? Especially advise long-term trading if you are looking at trading stocks. Do you understand what I mean? So yeah, this is the market breakdown that I have for you on this one-month chart. Let's navigate towards the weekly time frame and look at the price action here on the weekly chart. You can see that the market is indeed above this area, gave us a clean pullback. And if you pay attention, the candlestick that indicated that buyers are stepping in here, candlestick patterns, because that's what I do, right? Even when I'm on my trading sessions, like the trading course that I provide, I always tell people that, look, always pay attention on the candlesticks, meaning the candlestick analogy, right? Because I've studied candlestick analogy, obviously, and terminologies. I know all these things. For instance, you can see every time when the market arrives to a certain zone, I always look at the candlesticks that are being printed. I already know what those candlesticks mean on the smaller time frame by just looking at two candlesticks or one candlestick on the bigger time frame. For example, look at this level here, right? We have this bullish engulfing. See, that's the first thing, which is our first confirmation, right? That buyers have stepped in. Look at those two candles. You can see that this big bullish candle, it engulfed the second one, including the bodies of all those three bearish candles. Do you see? Because when we talk about engulfing, we're talking about the body. When one body covers. To cover up, it means to engulf, right? In the simple English term, like to engulf means to cover up. So you can see that big bullish candle, it has managed to engulf actually 3 to 4 bearish candles, indicating that buyers are stepping in. And that's why you can see there's a reaction telling you that, look, buyers indeed pushed the market up to this level. But I'll show you why the market had to revert back, right? We'll navigate towards the small time frame because there's a certain zone. Let me mark the zone now, then we go to the small time frame and look at it. Here's the zone. This zone is acting as a resistance within the internal structure. Remember, in between this resistance up here and this support here, whatever is in between that resistance and the support is called internal structure. So we're about to go to the small time frame and look at that internal structure that I'm talking about. Let's go to the daily time frame. Boom. Here we go. This is the daily time frame. Let's remove this so that I'm able to break the charts for you more clearly, so that you know what to do or how to best invest on this asset. It's pretty simple and straightforward, especially when the daily time frame has printed something like this for us, right? You can see that this asset indeed arrived to a level or an area where we call the point of interest. It's an area where buyers and sellers meet, right? Especially in between the resistance and support, right? You can see that we have all these touches here, indicating that every time when the market was above this level here, it kept rejecting. As you can see, every time it touches this structure here, it rejects and pump and go back up. You can see from this circles here, right? From the wicks that really touch this zone. And you can see immediately when it broke below, right? You can see this is the move that broke below, this move here. This move broke below that internal structure. That point of interest, right? Immediately after breaking, it went back and retraced with this move here. And now you can see when it retraces that level, it's acting what? As a resistance, because previously it was acting as a support level. So in other ways, this is the area where we also call it the resistance and support level, right? This is where the support and resistance meets. As you can see, we currently also have this rejection at the same level, right? And you can see the market is coming back down to attend the opening gap, because that's what the markets love doing, right? Attend this opening gap from here. So this means around the structure here where the accumulation has formed, you can see this is a whole accumulation. This is a right zone to take a buy, because eventually, right, listen to me, eventually if the market decides to come back down and starts pumping up and you are already within the trades, immediately when it breaks that zone, it pulls back, you enter another trade, it goes up, breaks, pulls back, you enter another one, then boom, you're gone. You see, you're gone. untouchable. You're gone. So you will have your first trade that you took around this structure somewhere in here, right? Then you have second trade that you'll take around this level. When it retraces, then you have your third trade around this level here. Listen, whether it's trading or whether it's investing, always trade or invest at the right zone. Why? So that you don't panic when you see a drawdown in your investment, especially a hectic drawdown. But if you do have both the fundamental and technical analysis knowledge, then you sort it. You don't panic. Do you understand? Because you already know, oh, when this level is, reached, this is what to expect. You get what I mean? So yeah, this is what I can provide you guys with on this asset. Nothing much, but what I'm saying is that the good zone to buy right now, it's around this area. It doesn't matter where, but around this area here, you can just take your buy. You understand? You can just take your buy. Make sure you use the smallest lot size because stocks are not really too volatile like your metals, right? So that's why if you want to trade stocks, don't put like small money, $10, $50. Nah, at least have a $200, $300 account, because even though you have a $200, $300, let's say you buy around this level because you can see, okay, let's say for example, I go to the 4 hour, right? Let me show you. Let's say I decide, you can see now it's dropping down. Let's say during the opening, right? It covers this gap here, right? Then it decides to go back and retrace up there. Even though you take a buy around this level here, then it decides to go back down here. Your biggest drawdown with a $200 account trading stocks, it won't be much. It will be at least $15 or $20, right? If you don't believe me, check the stocks or DM me. I'll give you advice on where to actually trade the stocks, because these stocks, there's only a few brokers that have these stocks. Secondly, I'm looking at something here on the 4 hour time frame, right? Look, we're removing the circles. I'm looking at something here on the 4 hour time frame. And the other thing, I don't like promoting brokers that they don't really pay me or anything, right? At the end of the day, imagine promoting or sharing a certain broker that, you experience a bad, thing with them. Then you come back saying, oh, you're the one who recommended this broker to me. Hey, this is what, you see, which is something that I don't like. Right? You understand what I mean? It's not really proper. Look, I drew my trend lines. You can see this trend line shows you that this asset is dropping, right? If you can't see the trend lines properly, let me help you out quickly. But first, let's do this. Let's first deal with this tool here. Yes. Let's remove everything, right? The support and resistance zones. Look at this. If you're a trend line trader, this is another way of approaching the charts, right? Because me, I know almost every trading method. Do you understand? Because I studied this for years and I've been literally committed to this, right? You can see we have this touch here. We have this touch here. We also have this touch here. And we have this touch at this level. Then we have our touch above the structure. You see, we have all these touches here, indicating that, look, it's simple. All you want to see is a breakout. If you want to catch the best move on this asset, because look, it shows you that it's dropping, right? But if you want to take a buy move, you can see we're coming back again to the same level, which is the level where I said is the point of interest. Look, when this asset decides to drop and come back down to this support and it goes back up, the only thing you're waiting for is a break above the trend line, the resistance trend line. Then you wait for a pullback. Then you enter your trades, you're gone. You see how simple and easy this is. Now, for me to draw back that zone right now will be helping you to best see that these things are aligned. Trend lines, if you combine them with price action, you'll get the high probability setup. Look at this. You see now bringing back this level, which is the point of interest level. Look at that. It's aligned perfectly with my trend line break. Retest here. Look, then you buy. Gone. Do you see? So, yeah. This is all, guys. I hope you saw how I really approach the chart. Simple and straightforward. There's nothing to hide here, especially when it comes to technicals. The only thing that is challenging to many traders, it's the ability to open the trade, the ability to close the trade, and ability to grow your funds. See that if you can master that, master the psychological side, then you're sorted. Technical analysis, very easy. Everybody can read charts. But to last in this game and able to protect your funds, that's the tricky part. Once you master that, you're gone. All I can say is thank you very much for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe so that you're able to stay updated each and every time when I drop such market opportunities. But this stock here, trust me, it will set you for life. I'll also share more stocks relating to this industry and more stocks relating to gas and, related stuff. Thank you very much. Peace.